Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another Feeding Frenzy for the 40-day prosperity plan. I'm praying for it there. And we are on day 32. I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. Boy, we needed to hear that today, didn't we?
Yeah.
So what's it saying to you today?
That we really, really, truly have to trust God. You know, we can say we trust Him all day long, but until we hit these rough spots, we don't really know whether we do or we don't.
Until the rubber hits the road.
And when we hit these rough spots and we panic, then to me that's an indicator that we really don't trust Him like we say we do. You know, so I've been trying to remind myself all morning that, you know, God is our source, God is our source, God is our source. And if I truly trust Him, then I have to know. I don't know how, but He'll do it one way or the other. I have no clue.
Well, but you also didn't come back here with an empty head either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, on the tails of worrying about where's it going to come from. You came back here with another idea of ways that we could streamline things in order to get things coming in a little quicker. So it's not like you came in empty-handed, wondering, what am I going to do?
Right.
The information I feel like we need to take is here. You got your nudge, and we just need to act on it without
Panic.
freezing from the panic.
Well, you know, what I realize is that the panic pushes it away. That's the thing I do that keeps it from coming in, is the panic. I feel like energetically that's pushing it away.
Right there. That's big right there. So let's talk about that for a minute. Yeah, I do. I really do.
Why?
Because I remember not too long ago, you said, you know what, I'm going to figure this stuff out if it kills me. I'm going to figure it out, why it's not coming to me. And what did you just say?
I just said the panic keeps it away. That's the thing we do.
Pushes it away.
It pushes it away. That's where I get in the way, is the panic. If we just, you know, just this morning, I'm sitting there in my quiet time, and I'm thinking, okay, God, you got to show up. You got to show me how this is going to work. You know, I'm beginning to get a little panic here, and ding, my phone dings, and there's a tithe right there. Thought, wow, yeah, and that was my answer. So, you know, that should have just right there eliminated every bit of panic I had. And it did make me feel better. But to say that it eliminated every bit of panic would be a lie. You know, I still had the big fear that the tithe was a wonderful tithe, but it wasn't going to meet my immediate need. You know, and that's okay. There's still time. It's not over until it's over. So,
well, when is it over though?
Exactly. It's just not. So it'll be here. I have faith that it will be here. We've never been late yet. So it'll have to be
daughter I guess it's probably a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, she was studying or had put off studying for a particular exam. And just like all of us, you know, night before the thing, she's got to take the thing, she is in a full-blown panic. It could not think, it could not calm down, and she just literally froze from the panic. And she wasn't studying, and she wasn't clearing her mind so that she could get to a place where she could study. She was just caught up in the panic. And I think about when I used to look at, you know, what I had to do and what I had coming in, when I started looking at what I had coming in according to what it was due, bill-wise, that would freeze me in my tracks. And it didn't matter what information I got coming after that, I couldn't act on it. Just like my daughter. Yeah. She got so caught up in the panic of the moment, she couldn't act on everything I was telling her to help her, trying to help her get through that. So I think, in turn, God does the same thing with us. We look at the little R reality, you know, that's sitting out here, and we think, I can't get past this, I can't do this, and we allow it to freeze us in that moment, rather than listening to the nudges that are coming in to help us get through it.
Well, and then I realized as we sat down to do this, I thought, okay, are we up for this? Are we ready for this? You know, we can't do this if we're not up. But then I realized one of the things that I believe we can help the most with is for people to see it's not all a bed of roses. It's not all
No, they're not.
up times.
There's a lot of days I don't feel like doing this.
Exactly.
You know?
So I almost called this off and said, let's just not do it today. We're a little bit ahead. We don't have to do it today. Then I thought, no, maybe this is where we need to be. Maybe this is where God wants us to be. As we tape it and put it out there so that people can see that, you know, we still get scared. We still have fear. Even though we're trying our best not to. But it's still,
Well,
there.
it's still a practice for us. That's why we're doing this.
To me today, that's saying that don't get in the fear of it. Don't get in the panic of it, because you have everything you need right here to create anything you want to create. You know, I have all knowledge and all wisdom and all everything to create. There's always, where there's a will, there's a way. And there's I have everything I need right here. Now I may have to take some of that out of there and put it into action. You know, just like the ideas I came in here with earlier. They're not new ideas. They're ones I haven't put into action yet. So that's what makes the difference, I think, is putting it into action.
It's the practice.
Right. So for me today, that just reminds me that the divine presence I am, it's all inside. It's all here. I just have to pull it out and use it. And if I let my fear and panic paralyze me, then I won't be able to use it. So I have a choice today. I can spend my time worrying about, okay, where's it going to come from? Where's it going to come from? Or I can just find the thing that brings me the most joy and go do it. You know, ask God, okay, God, which one of these is the one I should be working on today in this time that I have today? And then go do it. What's the most important use of my time right now?
So today, for me, it's a promise. And I'm gonna kind of use it as my kickstand. Okay, I'm gonna rest on that one, knowing that everything I have and everything that I need to have is here already. As long as I don't get frozen in the moment by the fear, like you said, then I'll find it. And so I don't know where it's going to come from, but I'm going to rest on that promise today. And I'm going to do the next thing that I'm guided to do. And I'm just going to say, you know what, I don't have time to panic because I've got the next right thing I'm going to do.
Well, it's just like walking on fire. It's that fear barrier is there, that invisible barrier that once you stick your toe through and step on those hot coals, you know exactly what to do after that.
Like Edwin says, you know how to get off.
You know how to get off. Your body will take care of that. It's the getting on that's the hard part. So
today we're just going to push through that membrane of fear, which is false evidence appearing real. And we're going to push through that and know the
God's
I am, the I am has got my back. And I cannot dream up a better safety net.
Right. No. And the worst thing we can do is to sit in our panic and fear and feel
And
sorry
do nothing.
for ourselves.
And do nothing.
And get frozen in that fear. Because that doesn't help anything. It just keeps us in it, in the soup, and makes things worse all the way around. So that's what I like about this, is it helps us bounce back quicker. I mean, we don't stay in the soup nearly as much as we used to. Get out pretty quick compared to what we used to do.
And you know what? That's good stuff.
That is good stuff. All right, read it again and replace it this time with good.
Okay. I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the good is the good and good of all my good.
What was the other word? Joy was the other one we put.
Okay. We need some of that today.
Yeah.
I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the joy is the joy and joy of all my good.
We are joy.
We are good.
Yeah.
Does it help any?
Not as much as the other words we've used. You know, I don't equate God and joy. Maybe I should, but
Why don't you equate God?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, you know, my upbringing, I always thought of God as this big, mean.
Well, it was portrayed to me as a stern judge.
Right.
And so I didn't think of God as joy.
Right. At best, he was a Santa Claus on a good day.
With an attitude.
Yeah.
A bad attitude at that. You know?
So
Because I always had to beg in order to get what I thought
Now,
I
it's easier
want.
for me to see Jesus as joy,
But
not God.
why is that?
Well, in my background, it was like, okay, Jesus is your buddy. Jesus is, you know, the Savior. He's your friend. But God was some mean grandpa, you know, that's, you know, or dad that's sitting there waiting for you to be out late, you know, and just waiting for you to do something wrong.
Sitting there with the shotgun next to the
Yeah,
chair.
yeah, you know.
So how has it changed now? Or has it?
Well, you know, I'm really trying. For me, it helps that, I hate to say this because I don't really know that it should be this way, but it helps me to take the human part out and make God an energy, a force that it just is. It's not good or bad, it just is, and this is the way it works. And if I work with it, then everything's going to be okay. And if I don't, then I'm going to have all kinds of trouble. You know? That helps me more than anything to take the judgment out of it if it's good or bad. That's why it's hard for me to put the good in there. You know, is because this is a force, and it's going to happen whether I know about it or not.
It's easier for you to picture God or energy or the universe or spirit or whatever name you want to give it as a neutral energy.
Right.
Rather than.
Right. Because, and so I guess that's why it's harder for me to put emotions on it. Because my scientific mind, it's like, okay, there's a lot of laws I learned in school, you know, the law of gravity and all those laws of math and numbers, and they happen whether I know about them or not.
Whether you're happy about it or not.
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's no judgment on numbers, usually. I don't say, well, that's a good law and that's a bad one. It's just, this is the way, you know, that formula works every time, without fail. So it's easier for me to see, well, okay, if this is the force of nature, if this is the way things work, if this is the law, regardless of whether I know about it or not, if I'm working with that law, then things are going to happen a certain way every time. And if I'm working against the law, then they're also going to happen a certain way every time. But it's something I could figure out because it's not a moving target.
Right.
And it's harder for me to put emotions on that and to make that a human figure.
But there's more out here than just the neutral.
I get that.
I
get that.
That's all I'm saying. And I think in order to stay out of the panic, then we need to pull the parts of us that repel it. We need to tap into that joy and hope and faith. All of those parts of our emotional armory, so to speak, that repel it. So that's why I suggested we use joy, because it does repel the panic. You can't feel joy and hold panic at the same time.
No.
It's impossible. It's just impossible.
I get that.
But I do understand why it's harder for you.
It's good stuff.
Stream.